I've got a couple. Am I being punked? Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Today is episode 132, June finished objects. Welcome to my knitting channel. Okay. Wildly unprepared yet again. I had my esophageal spasms yesterday. I'm still not able to swallow today, so well, I mean, obviously I can swallow, but it's painful. So my energy is not great because I don't sleep well when my esophagus is spasming for like 24 hours. It's the best. My hair is growing out to the point where it's unruly and I'm getting irritated with it. And it's like not warm enough to wear hats yet, so I'm just irritated. I feel like I can feel every hair coming out of my head and I hate it. And I'm like trying to not shave it off, like all of it. Because I don't think that would be a good look for me. I think there are a few people who can pull that off, and I do not at all look like any of them. Bree's here today. Everyone is in the room today. The new dog is here. My foster is still here. Lola's here. Oh, Rippy is not here. Rippy is in the bedroom. More about that later. She wasn't here. Hi, bud. Do you want to meet everybody? Do you want to meet everybody? Would you like to meet Chief Martin Barodi? There's Tormund. If you haven't realized, I am terrible at naming animals. And so we name them after shows and movies. Like when I had snakes, I named them after vampires. I had 2 king snakes. One was a California king and the other was a Mexican king. And one's name was Armand and the other one's name was Santiago. And then Bree and Tormund, obviously, from Game of Thrones. And then Lola had her name. That was her name. And that was the only thing she knew was her name. So I didn't change her name. Usually I change dogs' names. Because a lot of times when I get them from the rescue, I don't know what their name is. And sometimes when I do, sometimes they know their names and sometimes they don't. A lot of times I don't think it's their name that they know so much as their owner calls them something. And so if you don't say it like the owner, sometimes it's not like Chiquito. I don't know how she called him. Chiquito is that's 3 syllables for a dog. So I don't know if she called him Chico or Cha-Cha, Chichi. I don't know what she called him because I'm like, he doesn't answer to any of them. So I just call dogs buddy. I call my foster's buddy. I just call, hey bud, hey buddy. Like that, it doesn't matter who they are, I call them buddy. So then when I'm talking to my husband, I'm like, oh, remember buddy? And he's like, you call all of them buddy. I don't know which buddy. But then Ripley and Deckard were named after Ridley Scott movies. And then, right? Am I making that up? I don't know. I'm not a Ridley Scott fan. And then Chief Martin Brody is from my favorite documentary, Jaws, by Steven Spielberg. Chief Martin Brody is the main character. He is the police chief of Amity, which is a fictional beach town near Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Wait, no, it's a documentary. It's a real place. in Massachusetts, and it's a story of this police chief trying to save people from a great white shark in the waters. And you can't see him, he's right there. Anyway, it's a really good movie. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. Come here, let the people see you. Come here. Come here, baby. Say hello. This is Chief Brody. Hi. How are you? You're so cute. You're such a good boy. You can't even see him because he's so dark. We can't see you. They can't see you. Hi, you're so pretty. He is the best boy. He is, they think, 2 or 3-ish. He was found for free on Facebook Marketplace. And a friend of the rescue lady just went and got him. She's like, I'm just going to go get him. And then they got him into the rescue and he got neutered. And then 8 days later, he found me. And yes, we were the first ones in. Our application was first. And I think he has Min Pin. We got him a wisdom panel. It's wrestle time. In the Chewy box that is filled with tissue paper. So, I think he's Min Pin, but we got him a DNA thing. He jumps not like Chihuahuas jump. How are you doing? You okay? He likes all the dogs. Thank you. He likes dogs and cats. He chases the cats around in a fun way, and they chase back, and he has BFFs with my foster that hates all the other dogs, but likes cats. Stop looking at your butt. So, that is Brody. I call him Grody Brody, which I should have thought of before we picked the name. Because I was like, oh, I could call him Brody, or I can call him Chief. And you know what I end up calling him? Bro or Grody. Grody Brody. Did not think that through. His alternative names were going to be Kyle Reese or Tyler Durden. But Tyler Durden is very hard to say. Durden is not fun, and I like Kyle Reese, but I tend to say the whole name Kyle Reese, like Sarah Connor. I say the whole thing, Sarah Connor, Kyle Reese, and then I'm just going to start quoting the movie because I'll be like, Kyle Reese, protect by Sarah, and then I'm just going to run off into quoting movies that nobody knows what I'm talking about. So at least when we see Chief Brody, we can say stuff like, you're going to need a bigger boat. Where'd you go? What are you doing? Quit licking your butt. That is Brody. I think we will never come up with a name better than Deckard. I think Deckard was the best name ever for the best dog ever. I would name every dog Deckard if I could, because I think it's the best name. Or maybe I just loved him a lot. I don't know. But I think it's the best name we ever had. Because if people know it, they love it. Like, if people are familiar with the character, it's Harrison Ford, how can you not? Then everyone was like, whoa. Like, everyone thought it was a cool name. So anyway, I thought Deckard, because in Deckard. It was a good name. Anyway, let's get started with oh my god, he's literally under the box, like in the box under the flaps, and she's on top of the flaps. Like, I see his paw like this out of rubble. It's really funny. You know, if Tormund and Brienne got along this well in the TV show, can you imagine? Oh, geez, they're rustling. Okay. First, what I did, guys, is I redid the Ripple crop top worsted by Jessie Made Designs. I redid it at my gauge, which is on 4mm needles, and I worked it up to better see because something just wasn't going right with my top. So I reworked it, and I hate it. So I actually did it. I did the smallest size in my gauge, so it just fits. I couldn't get the V-neck directly right because my row gauge is different. So I didn't get the right slope, so it's a shallower V, but the deep V did not cover it. So, and this is not gonna go. It's weird because this fits my stomach fine. This does not fit my bust area though. So that's the problem with, which is weird because if I take these tops and just move this fits my bust just fine. So it should fit, right? So what I decided to do, this is the DK version. This is the worsted weight version. So this is the same size as my worsted version of these tops. But I'm wearing a DK version. So what I did is, frankly, I'm tired of dealing with this, and I've made it like 4 times and cannot get it to work. I may or may not be giving up the wrap part that I was trying to do. Although it did work in the last version, it did work. However, I got tired. So I restarted with my original plan to do this in 3 pieces. Start with the back piece, okay? And add on, whoops, what's going on here? We're starting with the back piece, and this will, here's our cast on. I use my twisted backward loop cast on. The cast on is going to go here across the back, and we're going to pick up these stitches on the edge for the right front, left front, and then we might join just like this, come in like this and join. I'd like to get like this type of neckline here, come down and then like that. Which I know is possible because I did it already with these tops. Only these start here, and then you do one side, then the other side, and then you join them together. So I know I can... Oh, sorry, it feels like spiders. I know I can do this because I've done it a million times, like 60 times. How many tops do I have? Like 60? I don't know. It's a lot. So it starts here on the back. I'm pulling it up so you'll see it, what I mean. It's not going to be this high on the back. And we're going to... We're going to pick up along the, so I could have provisionally cast on and then cast off, but I'll just pick up the stitches and then work. So I'm working this to be about here. I think it's 8.5 inches. I'm not sure. I'm waiting. I've redone it in 2x2. I think I forgot to mention that. I've redone it in 2x2 instead of 3x3 that the top is done in. And I did this mostly because that's what these tops are done in. Well, this is stockinette, but the body of it is 2x2 ribbing. And I thought, well, that's a lot easier to work for one. it's easier with the stitch counts to work it, because the other top was like a smidge tight or like a size too big. And I know things don't fit me because my body is not, I don't want to say my body is oddly shaped, because I don't think it is. I'm tall for a girl. I have longer limbs and a longer torso. And my waist is small and my hips are smaller than my bust. So I think it's 2-inch difference between my hips and my bust. I think my bust is 2 inches bigger. So then my waist is 10 inches smaller than my bust. So I'm pretty almost hourglass shaped, but more top heavy, but with elongated everything. So clothes never fit me. It's been like this my whole life. If they fit me here, if it fits me here, it doesn't fit me here. Like, in order to fit the bust, everything else is bigger, and the arms are always too short. Always, always, always. The arms are like 2 inches too short. It's freaking ridiculous. Same with pants. If I get it to fit me in the hips, it's too big. It's too big, or it's too tight in the thighs. And then big everywhere else. It's the most ridiculous. Like, I must be oddly shaped. I don't know what it is. I don't think I'm oddly shaped. I think I'm shaped just fine. I think clothes are, well, because clothes aren't meant to be, off-rack isn't meant to be your size. You're meant to buy a size bigger. The way sizing works is you're supposed to buy a size bigger than you need and then get your clothes tailored to fit you. That's how it was supposed to be. But no one can afford a tailor. This is way back. No one can afford a tailor, right? I can't afford a tailor. So we buy off-rack and wear it like that, which is not how it's intended. That's why nothing ever fits, because it's not intended to. If you ever go wedding dress shopping, every wedding dress is humongous. Yeah. Because you have it tailored to fit you, and it costs $800 just to do that. I don't know. I didn't wear a wedding dress. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, that's why I started knitting wearables, I can tailor it myself to fit me. But I haven't found someone to really teach you how to do that. I mean, I understand gauge and all of that, but my problem with gauge is that it's ever changing, that it very much depends on your tension at the time. I've made these tops, even if I just go by the DK weight ones that I have made, they fit differently depending on the fiber. So the fiber choice matters. Your tension at the time matters. So if you're like overly anxious, you might knit tighter, or if you're overly relaxed, you might knit looser. So all of that stuff matters when you're making things. So like my cotton ones, this is Cotton Basic, right? Did I say that? Cotton Basic from Knit Crate. Did I not say this? Could have sworn I did. Anyway, it's from Knit Crate. It's discontinued. You can't get this base anymore. This is the closest thing I could find to this, and it's actually softer, but not as heavy, like not as weighted. It feels like it's not as heavy. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh my god, I totally lost my train of thought. The cotton ones fit different than the wool ones. And the wool ones fit different from like alpaca, from silk. They all fit a little bit differently. Um, which also depends on how you block, depending on the fiber. I don't think cotton matters so much. Cotton seems to stretch out and then stay there, which is fine. It's very nice. It's very nice, and I mean, as long as it fits, it's fine. Like these tops are a little bit bigger in the cotton, and I'm able to wear them even over my bloated belly. I'm not able to wear any of my other tops right now. My belly is too. I think my belly went from, well, it's 31 inches right now. It hasn't gone down yet. I think it's my IBS, so I'm still working on that to try to get that back down, so I don't look so bloated all the time, because it's uncomfortable. Anyway, the cottons are the only ones I'm able to wear right now. The other ones fit. They fit. It's just when I get this thing, this esophagus thing, I don't want anything tight on me. Like, because it feels like I have like a boa constrictor wrapped around me, and it's just like a vice. Like, so when I have my esophagus thing, I don't like anything on my chest. So I'm trying, like, even though it's on my belly, I feel like it's too tight. So, I've not been able to wear them right now. So, still talking about this. I went up, so I was able to redo the math so it's closer to the size of my tops. It's closer to that gauge, and then in a 2x2 ribbing, so it's easier to math it out. Easier to make little changes, and not have to do. So then I'm working with 4 stitches instead of 6, which the math worked out better. Does that make sense? The math worked out that instead of being in between a size of one size too big and one size too small, I can actually go right in the middle and get my Goldilocks size, which I already know because I wear it all the time. So actually this is DK. I keep showing you this, but this is actually it because this is DK. This is what happens when I don't sleep. My brain's all over the place. So I'm making the back panel first, and then we will work the front panels off the top of it, and then it should the problem is we go off the assumption that the back, right, is the same size as our front, which is not at all true. This is not the same size as my back. I got extra sizing here, right? So if this doesn't stretch out over, that's why I wanted to do the wrap, because I could get extras in to cover. But then you have to decrease down the side. So I'm still debating what I'm going to do. And the way I've done this is to end on with knit stitches. So when I connect in the round, I'm going to need to add on 2 stitches under each arm to put the pearls in, which that only adds on 4 stitches instead of adding 6, which would add on an extra inch. Right? Because I'm getting 20 stitches to 4 inches. 20-30 is my gauge for this, 20-30. And when I make my tops, my front is bigger than the back cast on, and the front comes all the way to right here. The the front, because you can tell where the ribbing starts, and the ribbing starts right here. So it's right in the center of my underarm where the cups start and stop. So that's how I designed it, was so you can get your whole bust here and your whole back. So if you need to add on, you can add on front or back. And then I just work straight down, and I haven't had a problem. Again, I don't mind it looser on the belly. So that's why I'm having problem with the design, is that there's so much stretch in this that it's 3 sizes too big, and I don't like to wear my stuff like that's not how I like to wear stuff. So I'm trying to incorporate the bigger size here or come in lower, but it's still, I haven't quite worked out how to do that, I guess. And I guess for this top, the difference in the stockinette and the ribbing made a difference, maybe? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I've been working on for weeks. Hopefully this is the last time and we can get this done and then make 8 more of them. My third whip is Bamboo Pop Sock Double Layer Hat. That is taking its own time. I don't know if you are aware, but my neighbor has been having this work done at her house for like 3 freaking weeks now, because it's been like 3 or 4 episodes that anyway, I'm ready for it to be done. Bamboo Pop Sock. Double layer hat. This is my own pattern. Okay, today is finished objects for June. I have 2 of them. I know, right? Like, I feel like such a slacker, and I've been working my butt off this month. It's been ridiculous. The first finished object I have is the Sandy Cove Cowl by Katie DeGroff Knits. Now, this is a test knit I did, and this pattern is releasing Friday, June 30th. So you should be able to get this right now. If you go to her Instagram, she probably has. I'll put her Instagram below with the Ravelry thing of this. I mean, I'll put it up as my project, but if you go further down where it says mention what it says, whatever stuff I mention, I'll put the actual Ravelry pattern page for this, and I'll also put her Instagram, because she probably has she usually does coupon codes when they release, I think. Now this also is a shawl pattern. There's a shawl. You can do a shawl or a cowl. I don't know if they're a 2-for-1 or if they're separate. I don't know, because I only test knit the cowl. I only got the cowl, so I'm assuming they are separate. I did this on Mad Tosh. Mad Tosh something. It's a single ply fingering weight, and I hate Mad Tosh. I hate it. And to be fair, I have not bought any since was it Jimmy Beans acquired it? I have not bought any since then. I had I think 4 skeins. These are 2 of them, and 2 other that I made a shawl. Not impressed. It was DK. Not impressed at all. I don't know. I don't even think the base is nice. I don't think either base was particularly nice. I don't think the colors were anything special. I don't think the dye job was anything special. I didn't think the colors, I did not find anything remarkable about the yarn either way. And I guess I don't understand the hype for it. I don't understand why everyone seems to love Madeline Tosh yarn. I don't care. It does nothing for me. It really doesn't. Um, it doesn't do anything for me. I guess I don't get what the big deal is. I've worked with much better yards. Um, I just don't get it. So anyway, loved this pattern. This is my second test knit for her, and what my favorite thing about her work so far, I've done two things, and I've done two of the shawls, my test shawls that I test knit. I made two of those. Her stuff requires minimal blocking, and I usually block out shawls like severely. I get my wires out. I am serious. I block everything as much as it can be blocked. And this cowl and the shawl that I did, neutral territory shawl, did not require, it could have not been blocked. They could have not been blocked. I mean, of course I'm going to block them, but I just wet them and laid them out. They did not require any wires, pins, nothing. So if you make a lot of gifts, to give people that don't know to block, this stuff doesn't need blocking. They can wash it as long as you do like some washable wool. They could throw this in their washing machine and then just lay it to dry, and it would look fantastic. That is what I'm most impressed about her stuff, is that the blocking is so minimal. And I find that's a hard thing, like when I want to give shawls or when my friends get sick and, are going to be in and out of the hospital. I like to give them something to take for their treatments and stuff. And it's hard because I don't want to say, here, this has a care label. I want to say, throw it in the wash, lay it out to dry. Just don't put it in the dryer. Just lay it out to dry. And you can do that with her stuff, with the two things I made from her. You can absolutely do this. This is covered in hair. My animals love my stuff. I can't, this is cat hair. My animals just love, because I make them blankets and stuff. So they're like, oh, this is a blanket. No, it's not. Also fits well. It was a lot of fun to do. I really liked the slip stitch. It's mostly slip stitches. Now you can do I did it with two colors, but I think hers was done with like 7 minis, I think. Just a bunch of minis. I don't know how the shawl is. I didn't do the shawl. I did not have time to test knit the shawl. It's pretty, but I was like, oh, I don't have the time to do a fingering weight shawl right now. Because this show is my number one priority when making stuff. So, yes. I'll put links to all of her stuff below so you can, if there's a code, or I'm sure there probably is. But that's ready today. My other finished item, if you remember, I said last week that I accidentally felted 5 of these tops. And this is Vitellana Lofty DK, which was from Knit Crate, which is no more, so I can't buy more. Which is unfortunate because I love this base, and these crop tops are what get me through the summer. So all 5 of them are felted. They are felted. I can't get them over my head. Therefore, they don't fit. And I'm so stupid. I threw them in the washing machine. I didn't even think, because I just thought, oh, they're cotton. And it's like 30% cotton. The rest is wool and alpaca, dummy. And I was like, oh, these look weird. Why do these look weird coming out of the thing? Like, oh, crap. So I took the full length. The full lengths are fine. The full length ones are totally fine. I just don't want to not have the full length versions too, because I wear those all the time because they're super comfortable. And I found some on on Ravelry for trade, but I'm like, I don't want 2 whole skeins. Like I just want, like I need 60 grams. 60 grams to make one of these. And I'm like, if you have 60 grams laying around of Vitalana Lofty DK in any color that is not orange or brown, because there was a brown, please let me know. I will pay for them. But like, I don't need 200 grams. I just need 60. I don't want 200 grams. Anyway, I feel like because I need 60, so 100 grams isn't going to get me 2 of these. It'll get me 1. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so I took this apart. This was the full length. I took it apart. I have enough to get a second one. And then what I think we're going to do, because this is the Tiger Lily colorway, and orange is not my color. What I think I'm going to do is, did I redo? Ooh, I think I redid these straps. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to attempt to dye this black. Now the problem with that is that it has cotton in it, and I use acid dyes, which work for protein fibers and not cellulose fibers. So that means the 30% cellulose fiber content in this will not hold the dye, and I don't know what 30% that is. So I was thinking, since I have extra of this, because I'm using 120, that's 80. So I should be able to get 3 out of 200 grams. Is that right? 120, 180, right? 6, 12, 18, 180. That's weird. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Did you see my brain just take off at that? I'm gonna probably cut a 1 gram, just a 1 gram swatch of this, and see if I'm gonna attempt to dye it black and see what happens before, because I want to finish the other one before I'm just gonna put them in the oven and dye them, is how I'm going to do, because I don't want to accidentally felt these at all. So why now I can't hold a thought, because that thought ran away with my brain. Okay, so that's my other finished object. But adjacent to that, I have these 2 colors left. Vitalana Lofty DK by Knit Crate. This is Daffodil, and this is Spray Rose. Now, Spray Rose is a weird color. It's like a salmon. It's like a pinky peachy. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. Again, not the greatest. So I was thinking, I have to try that dye. I want to do that dye experiment before I do anything with these, because yellow does agree with me, but this, I feel like that just drained all the color out of my face. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know. This is also really very bright. I'm not sure about it. So before I do anything else but make the second one of those, I want to dye a swatch and see what happens. Because how much cotton? 48% merino, 20% baby alpaca, 32 organic Pima cotton. Also, it's a chainette, which is going to be harder to dye because it's like an I-cord basically. So there's more resist anytime the yarn is touching itself, that's an opportunity for resist to happen. And since it's a chain, it's basically an I-cord. All of those spaces where they're touching, all of them, that is opportunity for resist, which is very bad for dyeing. Also, if you see how this is, part of it is undyed. That's not the light reflecting off. That is actual undyed. So I'm wondering, what I'm hoping is, wherever the dye is, I think this is different than this, because that does not look like this. This does not have any undyed parts. This has lighter and darker parts. So what I also don't know what they use to dye. If they use cellulose, if they use, fiber reactive dye for cellulose fibers, this isn't going to tell me anything. But if this used an acid dyes, which again, I don't know. I don't know what dye process were used or what dyes were used, which is why this is going to be such a thing. This might not even doing the swatch might not tell me anything. It'll tell me about this yarn, but not anything about this yarn. And these seem to be dyed the same. These were out of the same thing. These came along with the hydrangea, the blue, that I felted. So whatever that tells me, I'll have a little bit more to go with these, but now I'm thinking I might take a 1 gram swatch of one of these at the same time I'm doing that. I'm going to be able to tell them apart and do a 1 gram swatch of each dye, try to get them black, see what happens. Then I'll know what to do with these, because I have 2 skeins of each, which means I can make 1 full length top and 1 crop top, or I can make 3 crop tops. Since I'm not crazy about these colors, if I can dye them black, I'll make one full length that'll dye black, and then we'll make the rest cropped. So we'll have 4 crops plus 2, so we'll have 6 blacks. Do I need 6 black crop tops? Or I could get 2 full length and then have a total of 4. Maybe even more if I can over dye. I've got a bunch of this left over from all the other colors. I could, Frankenstein a thing together and probably make another. Oh my God. Okay. That is the end of my knitting content. Next week's show has no topic. And the week after that is planning fall projects. So I may skip next week. I don't know if you remember last week when I told you that we found what appeared to be a tumor on our other dog, Ripley, on Ripley's leg. And we took her in and they biopsied it, and we got the call yesterday that it is a sarcoma. So Ripley has cancer, and we just lost Deckard, her buddy, in March to lymphoma. Very unexpectedly, he was diagnosed and then gone in 5 days. So and I was still recovering from my surgery at that point. So it's been a rough year, and I feel like I was tempting fate, because when we were driving home from the vet, after to get her biopsied, I said to my husband, it has to be like statistically improbable that we would have 2 dogs diagnosed with cancer in such a short period of time. Like, it has to be statistically improbable that we would like lose 2 dogs to cancer in the same year. And I've been through two pet losses 11 weeks apart, and it was a really hard thing to get through. And we don't know the extent of the infection. Is cancer an infection? I don't know. It hasn't even been 24 hours, so I'm not quite they don't know if it's spread, and they weren't able to tell something about it because there was so much blood in the sample sent. There was a lot of blood, and she said that interfered. They couldn't I don't really understand what she was talking about. I'm not a medical person. I am a legal person. So you throw legal jargon at me and I understand all of it. It does not matter. You don't have to dump down. But when it comes to medical stuff, I don't understand anything. And I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like to feel stupid. And she's saying all these words that I don't understand what any of them mean. And then my friend's asking me questions like, what type? And I'm like, I don't know what that, they didn't tell me. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. And all I know is our vet is very, very smart. She's a very kind woman, and I like her a lot. And she's been with Rippy since we got her. So 10 years we've been going to her. And I know she really cares for Ripley, and she really cared for Deckard too. And I know she was devastated to have to tell me this again. So Rippy's going in on Monday to have it removed. And then the mask gets sent out, and then we'll know more. Oh, before she's having the surgery, they're going to x-ray her, and to make sure there's no masses in her chest or anywhere. So, I'm finally feeling something about it. I've been like a robot since they told us, and I know it's from the trauma and shock of losing Deckard so suddenly, and that we're not quite over that. And now I'm like, we just got another dog? Like, I feel like I should have waited on Chief Brody there. But we don't know anything yet. We don't know anything, which sometimes is harder, I think. So, since it's not even being taken out till Monday, I assume it's going to be roughly, I think she said 7 business days, to get results to us. So that's assuming that her x-rays are clear, which we're not going to know till Monday when they take them. So, I didn't really want to do my show today. I just didn't want to. Because I had such a bad day yesterday with my esophagus, and then getting that call in the evening was just like, are you kidding me? So, I've been really disassociative today, and I didn't want to do the show, but I don't have a lot of reach, and I wanted to give Katie as much help with the release of her pattern as I could. I like to support independent designers and everyone in the craft that I can. So I did do the show just to make sure I could help her as much as I could. I may skip next week. Because Monday is she's having the thing removed, and then Friday I have to go to the dentist and get cavities filled. So I might just take next week off. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm just not going to. So if you don't see me next week, everything's fine, probably. I'm probably just freaking out. But the week after, with planning fall projects. All right, it's the middle of summer, and then I haven't got any summer projects done. I've not gotten anything done that I wanted to get done. This happens every year. I never get anything done that I want to. I'm like, oh, like I have such high hopes. If you go back to the planning summer projects that I did, yeah, I bet I had a whole bunch of plans, and I bet I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to do. Have done none of it. Nothing. None. Not one thing. Oh, wait. I'm pretty sure I wanted to make more of these, and I felted 5 of them and then made one. So I'm still down 4. Way to go. Way to go. You're ridiculous. I feel like this is just my life right now. Like this is, yes. This is how my life is all the time. I feel like I'm always swimming upstream, like always fighting the current. It's ridiculous. My sister got approved for our house today, and I'm really excited for her because she's worked really hard. And she's raised 2 boys on her own, which is another thing that irritates me. They're good boys too. We had them over. Was it last weekend? We had them over for dinner. We sat in this room. Rippy freaked out the whole time. So that, yes, they can meet the new dog. They want to come meet the new dog. I don't think I have anything else to tell you. I'm sorry for the downer again. I'm real left our shoe tray. That's gonna annoy me. You will never see that again. This is how out of my mind I am. That the shoe trays and fuck me no. I'm not redoing the show. I'm not redoing a fucking hour show. Anyway, you never see that. You never see it because I move it every time, and I didn't even notice today. We moved the whole room around, so because I wanted more view of the window, because felt like it was getting like this in here. So we moved a whole bit. Can you see? Oh no, you can't. Can you? Oh, he's in the little bed. He in the little bed. Can you see his little feet up? Look at his little feet up. Here it goes. Okay, right there. Look at his little feet up. How cute is that? Oh my god, he's so cute. I can't wait for him to get out of here. No, he's great. He's great. He just needs to be the only lap dog. Like most Chihuahuas do not like to share their humans, and he is no different. He's just like a normal Chihuahua. But my Chihuahuas have to share my lap with everyone else. So anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. It may or may not be here. I haven't decided. I'm gonna, if I'm really anxious, I'm gonna take the week off because I do have the dentist, and that usually gets me really, really worked up. So I might, if I need to take the time, I'm just gonna take the time. And if I'm not here next week, I'll see you the week after for planning fall. Which I gotta look at my list. I don't even know. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm not in the right headspace for that. So hopefully I'll have some news about Rippy. Anyway, if I finish the top, I might pop on for a little bit. So I might record something. It just might not be a full episode. Okay, so don't forget Sandy. What did I say? Sandy Cove, Cowl, and Shawl by Katie DeGraff Knits. Everything will be linked below. Check out her Instagram for codes. Okay. Good. All right. Take care of yourself, guys. I'll see you.